Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Service Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark Wehner II, team leader at Champions Real Estate Team. So every Wednesday we jump on here, Russ Williams and myself, and kind of give you a rundown of what's gone on in the real estate market over the last week or so. And we always try to start out with a quick tip. So our quick tip of this week is kind of home warranties. So the thing with home warranties is we're seeing in our marketplace now that maybe you might not be able to do a home inspection. You're able to do them, but in order to get a contract, sometimes that may not be the case. Some clients are removing those contingencies, but if you still want that kind of peace of mind a little bit, home warranty may be another option. Or even if you are getting a home inspection, I know Berkshire Hathaway, we offer a complimentary to all of our listings. So all of our sellers get basically a complimentary from the time we list to the time we close. Anything happens in that meantime, you're covered under, with what the home warranty would cover for you, paying the deductible of the, I think, $100 service fee to come out and do things. But that will also, some of those larger expenses, your furnace, air conditioner, those type of things are you typically covered in those. Some home warranties will ask for a home valuation. So they'll come in, the home warranty company will come in, evaluate, the property and the things in the house, if they will cover them or not. And if they'll exclude them, then that's something we can go back to, the sellers and say, hey, if we're going to get this home warranty, we can't have any exclusions. And maybe that's an opportunity that, that seller will fix them or replace them or things of that sort. But that's usually, those home warranties are usually good for 1 year. They range anywhere from $500 up to $1,000, depending on what plan that you have. So obviously the more expensive plans may cover more things. If you have like a pool, I know my parents have a pool. They have a home warranty that covers some of the pool equipment and things like that they've used with their pool heaters and things of that sort. So there's many different options out there. So it's just something to think about, when you're buying a house, or even if you own a house currently. If that's something that you got a furnace that's kind of, 10, 15 years old, and you've been maintaining it regularly, that peace of mind, if it's a $500, if that furnace costs $5,000, that you can do the math and say, all right, where's the break even point on it? In that case. So, I know me personally, I have them on my investment properties. So that way I need a issue or have a service chart or have something come up, my tenants, they can call them, take care of it. Essentially, I'll take care of the service or the deductible that they call the service fee to go out and handle that. So, but anyways, yeah. So if you have questions on that, give us a holler. We have connections with many different home warranty companies. Like I said, there's multiple home warranty companies out there. So all have their pros and their cons and stuff like that. So do your research and figure out which one's best for you. So, all righty, let's get into the real estate market. We're kind of seeing that, on par of what we typically see this time of year. So as our numbers, our graphics here pull up, so nothing too crazy over the last week. So we had 458 new listings go live. We had 382 new contracts written over the last 7 days. And we had 438 new happy homeowners. Hopefully they're happy. New homeowners. That number's jumped about 150 from last week and about 100 from the week prior to. So that's basically 45 days from now, in the middle of February. People putting that first part of April, that last part of March as their closing date. So we saw a lot of those transactions come up. So that's why that number kind of went up a little bit higher there. So yeah, like we said, we're still seeing that, good activity. Spring market, obviously weather's getting nicer day by day. And moving forward here. So we got one holiday, another holiday down. Then you got, Memorial Day coming up. And what we typically see, I guess, in this time of year too, is in the next month or so, I guess I'm getting ahead of the curve here, is we'll start seeing graduation parties. People start getting ready for vacations. That time of the market kind of slows down just a little bit. What I've seen as far as like open house traffic and things of that sort, listing traffic in those, those graduation weekends. There's a lot of stuff that comes up in that side. So which is a good opportunity for those out there looking to buy. So just kind of a little quick tip there, I guess, and a second tip from that side of it. So let's look at the 30,000 foot view of what's going on in the marketplace. Nothing too crazy on this graphic here. 2,610 active listings in the Omaha Lincoln MLS. And then narrowing that down into the Omaha metro area, the Douglas-Sarpy County, we had 1,542 existing homes. So we're at 572. So that's not a lot. I mean, when you think of the population of the Douglas-Sarpy County area, only 572 homes out there. Not a whole lot. New construction was up about 1,000 units last week, and now we're down to down 30 units, which doesn't seem like a lot, but some of those spec homes are starting to come off the shelves and things of that sort, which is great. The months of inventory, 2.5 months, so we're still in that seller's market. The thing I think we're seeing right now is just making sure you're pricing those homes right. on the listing side of it, and getting those comps, and having agents that here at Champions Real Estate Team that are doing the business, to know exactly where to price your house. Because we're starting to see some of those price reductions a little bit because they're overshooting the market a little bit, but you got to make sure, get in there and compare the like kind houses out there. Average sale price is up 3.8% from last April. At 329. So, still a pretty good, vibrant market out there. If you have questions, comments, but let's see what Russ got to say on the mortgage side of it. How are we doing, Russ?
Doing pretty well, Mark. Hopefully we get some rain here in the next few days. Looks like we have spring is officially here. Mortgage rates are holding pretty steady. We did see them tick up just a little bit to near their highs for 2024. And that's not uncommon as we see ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys as we're moving throughout the year. I don't expect we're going to probably see rates move down much until such time that we either have inflation continue to move down even further than it has, or until we see the jobs market soften even further. Every first Friday of the month, the federal government, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, will release the non-farm payroll report. That will be this coming Friday. That potentially could be a market mover in the event that we see unemployment rates rise. Ideally, probably in the range of 4 to 4.1% for unemployment. That may spark the Fed to maybe move a little bit more quickly than we thought that they might, and that could help to move mortgage rates down as well. Most analysts are thinking that they probably won't move in their May meeting. There's a chance they may in their June meeting, but we have a lot of time between now and then to figure out where that might go. Having said that, your 30-year mortgages without paying discount points are somewhere in the upper 6s to maybe 7 thereabouts, and your government loans and shorter-term loans are a little bit below that. But having said that, Mark, we've talked about this before. If mortgage rates happen to drop by just 1%, which is quite likely at some point in time during the next 6 to 18 months, that may well, according to the National Association of Realtors and other reports, bring as many as 5 million new home buyers potentially into the market. What that means is more demand for housing. So what that means is if you're waiting to buy your first home until rates come down, you may have more competition and you may have to pay more to buy that home in a competitive bidding situation. In the event that you're potentially waiting to sell your home until rates come down, keep in mind, yes, your current home value might increase a little bit, but that new home that you're buying, if it's going to be in a higher price point, is likely going to be even higher. So this is a good time to get your home on the market and move before we see too much demand later on in the year.
That's great information, Russ. Appreciate it. Yeah, so like we said, market's still out there, very robust. And obviously, rates are going to be where the rates are. And I think that's what kind of people are acknowledging that now is that they're at the 6s, and, we're starting to see some of those sellers that, kind of, you call it the rate lock, where they're locked in at those 3%, even sub 3% interest rates on their 30-year, kind of like, well, if they need to move, they're like, well, rates are what they are. But as you see that appreciation, even at 3.8% in the average sale price, you're still gaining that. And that's, like you said, if you're going to wait that 18 months, potentially, you're going to be paying, with that larger buyer pool that could be potentially entering the market. It just depends on when you want to jump in the market. And I know, when we were looking at building our house, we're looking at, oh yeah, if you save for every $1,000 that you go up or down a purchase price, or even save or put on down payment, it's going to save you about $5 to $6 a month on a house payment. So you may be able to save, let's say, simple math, $10,000 this year for your next house. That's only saving you $50 a month. So when you think about it in that grand scheme of things, but that house could go from, $200,000 to 210, 220, and you could go get that now at 200, kind of offsets that, what you're trying to save, in the road. And if interest rates go down, then refinance it. If you're planning on being there for a long time, then rock and roll with it. So I think that's sometimes we get locked into, oh my gosh, we got to save a bunch of money for a down payment, which is great. Yes, you want to do that. But if you keep, feeling that you're not really putting a big dent in your monthly payment, out there in the big picture of it. So I think that sometimes people get wrapped up on that kind of stuff, and they just don't sit back and look at it from a different lens. And I think that's just what we try to do here. I know one of my clients at past hockey players that I coached, sat down and met with him and his fiance and said, hey, where are you at? Where are you going? And, what do you need to save to get into a house? And I kind of went over that example to him with them, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. So that's what we're here to do. And they're probably on at least a year out from, being able to purchase something, but that's where we want them to be. And it's, does it make sense now? Does it make sense later? And that's for you to decide, and you and your family and who's in the decision maker in that aspect of it. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I got for today. So I don't know if Russ, you have anything else?
Nope. Have a great week, everybody, and get out there and buy a house,
All
sell
right,
a
yeah, rock
house.
and roll, and see everyone next week, and have a great weekend and enjoy the weather.